Hey, what's up? My name's Nixie. At least that's the name I'm going to be using while I post these videos. I've wanted to have my own YouTube channel and post my thoughts and opinions for a while now, but I kind of put that off because I just have a busy life and I wasn't sure how well it would be received, and I didn't really think anybody would listen to me. And if they did, I figured they'd probably hate what I have to say. But I came to realize that I'm doing that all anyway, every day on Facebook. I seem to be upsetting somebody with something I post. And so I thought to myself, I gotta come up with a new and exciting way to piss people off. So I've decided to have my own YouTube channel, and this is gonna be where I post all of my political thoughts, opinions, rants, and I might even post some other things that are not politically related. You will know if they are politically related though, however, because I will make sure that I have the flag as my backdrop. So whenever you see that, that means that I'm about to say something politically based. So I've been doing a lot of thinking about, the state of our country right now, the state of division in our country right now, and how angry we all are, it seems, and passionate we all are about the state of affairs in our country. And I started thinking about, what, if anything, we could do to try and unite us again. I guess I'm blessed in that even though I started out very one-sided politically based, and surely there are folks today who still think I'm very one-sided politically based, but you might be surprised to learn that both Democrats and Republicans seem to get really upset at the things I say. So if I'm upsetting both sides, I kind of can't really be leaning only one way, although I will say that most of the things that liberals support are important to me. And those are things like a woman's right to choose, what she does with her own body. That would also be, the right for gay people to get married if they want to. And I do believe in some type of universal health care could be done successfully in this country. Do I think it's been done successfully yet? No, I do not. Do I think it can be? Yes, I do. And I also support, some types of public assistance, SSI, whatever services we can offer our veterans should be supported. I even believe in things like food stamps and welfare. Does that mean I think they're being properly managed all the time? No. Does that mean I think nobody ever abuses them and lies about shit? No, it does not. And I suppose I should pause right there for a minute and let you know that I have a potty mouth and swears are going to slip out here and there. There are a lot of people who know me in the real world in a business sense or in a, student school mother sense who aren't aware that I swear at all. They also might not be aware of some of the other views that I have, but I decided that if I'm going to go out of my way to do this and really open myself up to people in the public, that I'm going to be authentic or I'm not going to fucking do it. So that being said, I swear. So welcome to my world. So anyway, the whole point of this video is what can we do to unite us, in my opinion. Now, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and that doesn't mean that I'm right. I'm not a doctor. I don't have any type of, college degree in anything really. But that doesn't mean that I'm ignorant by any means. I won't tell you what I do for a living, but I will tell you that it's consultant-based and that it is U.S. government regulation-based. And I will also tell you that my business very heavily relies on a functioning government that's not shut down. This would include working with, in tandem with the State Department, the Bureau of Industry and Security, OFAC, Customs Border Patrol, ICE, Homeland Security, all those. I might have already said Homeland Security. Anyway, I don't work for the government, but I train people how to follow the government's regulations in some regards. I won't tell you what regards. If you know me in the real world, then you know. And if you don't, it doesn't really matter. The point I'm making here is, even though I don't have a college degree, I'm not fucking ignorant, okay? I'm not just somebody who's sitting at home pulling my opinions out of my ass, which I think is what a lot of people on Facebook think I do. I also have my own spiritual beliefs, which often conflict with my political beliefs and the political beliefs of others. Sometimes I wonder if you even can be spiritual and political. Can you care about both of those things? I care very much about my spiritual side equally to my political side. And I'd be lying if I said otherwise. So I struggle to find the balance between both. And I struggle with wanting to be authentic and say what the fuck I think, and then the backlash that comes from that. Interestingly enough, a lot of my friends and family of my friends, you know, like friends' moms and stuff like that, that have friended me on Facebook, they post all sorts of shit I don't agree with all the time, all kinds of rhetoric that makes me like want to gag. But I just keep on scrolling. Or there's this awesome feature on Facebook where you can actually hide posts that get repeatedly shown. So like when people are posting shit that, like, you know, by Tomi Lahren and shit like that, I just click no longer see posts by Tomi Lahren. And then I can still see my friends' posts, but I don't have to see any of that bullshit I don't agree with. And I highly recommend that my conservative Facebook friends use that button with me instead of coming on my wall and throwing up. That's right, I said it. You come on my wall and you throw up because you don't agree with me. And you know what? You don't see me coming on your wall and throwing up because you know what? I'm a big girl and I got my own wall, and that's where I become a keyboard warrior, on my own fucking wall. And I suggest you become a keyboard warrior on your own fucking wall and not mine, okay? So anyway, that's as serious as I'm gonna get, so don't worry. That being said, I still love the people who throw up on my wall, and whether I agree with them or not. So I am very fortunate that I have two parents who couldn't be more opposite. I have a mother who is a lesbian Hillary lover, and then I have a father who's a red hat wearing Trump supporter. And for obvious reasons, their marriage did not work out. But lucky for them, they were together just long enough to make me. And I grew up, after listening to both of their bullshit, to come to realize that 50% of what they say doesn't fit me. It's not right. I don't agree with it. And the other 50% of that stuff made me wiser, better, stronger, all that stuff. So I take about 50% of what my parents say and agree with it, and the other half I do not agree with. So where does that leave me? You know, I can't drink from the bottle on the left and I can't drink from the bottle on the right. So I've become more of a libertarian, independent, Green Party type of person, I guess, because I don't trust either side anymore. I don't, you know. I used to be all about voting, couldn't wait to be 18 to vote. I voted for Obama in the first election, and then he really fucking disappointed me. I had an awakening, and then I came to believe that, you know, around the same time as my awakening, I don't think it was because of the awakening, but I came to believe that, you know, it's all bullshit. Both sides are shaking hands behind our backs, making deals, and they're making money while they're doing it. So I decided I didn't want to pick either side anymore. And so I stopped voting altogether. And then this last election happened, and Trump started running, and I was just like, I can't have that. So I came out of the woodwork, re-registered to vote, and don't worry, I did not vote for Hillary, but I certainly didn't vote for Trump either. I did vote, but I didn't vote for either one of them because my conscience wouldn't let me. If I'm going to come out of the woodwork and vote because I believe maybe there's a chance they actually count our votes, then I'm going to make sure that I vote for somebody I actually believe in. And I had lost confidence in both of them. Neither one of them was up to snuff to be my president, because my president should have the highest level of integrity possible. And neither one of those candidates had a high enough level of integrity to be my president. Unfortunately, most of the country didn't feel that way, and so now we're in a situation that I never would have guessed in a million years we'd be in. So we have half the country who wants a wall and half the country who doesn't want a wall, and now our country is temporarily shut down. And I didn't agree with this when the other side did it, and I don't agree with it with this side doing it. And I pretty much posted that no president should be doing that. No president should be shutting our government down. Right side, left side, donkey, elephant, green, purple, I don't care. I don't care what your reason is or what your agenda is or the fact that half the country agrees with you. Guess what? There's half of us who don't. And that doesn't mean you shut down the country and keep all these people out of work. And, you know, our country's in no way safer during a shutdown. Okay? Our borders are in no way safer during a shutdown. A lot of stuff comes to a fucking standstill. They're still taking our money. I recently saw a post that I have not vetted out that says some people will still be eligible to get their tax returns. Yeah, they might, but it's going to be slow as molasses in coming if they even come. So now, you know, our whole country is basically being held ransom because we have one guy who wants a wall and 50% of the country supports that. And then, you know, the other half of the country who voted in all these Democrats do not support that. So, you know, you can say it's the big bag Democrats in Congress keeping this from happening, you know, your precious wall. But we, the other half of the country, are the ones who voted them in there. So it's really the other half of the country who's keeping you from getting your wall. But now we have a government shutdown. And we have, you know, two political parties playing chicken and the whole entire country rooting them on as they do so. And meanwhile, we're all eating each other alive on Facebook over this. Families, friends, all of it, you know. I gotta tell you, as irritated as I might get with, you know, a liberal view of things, you know, or a Hillary supporter or whatever, I can't help myself. But when a Trump supporter is speaking, I just want to say, fuck you and your wall. Because you don't make any sense to me. You really don't. And oftentimes you profess to be the most Christian, the most church-going folk there are, but you seem to have missed the message of sharing and love if you are going to really come from a place of fear. And, you know, you could say you're not hating people for being a different person than you all you want, and you can pretend that you're not racism. You're just drinking diet racism. You're still racist. You're still racist if you think every single immigrant is some type of rapist, all right? We have plenty of white male rapists here in the country, and a lot of these school shootings are done by white people. So I don't really think that the wall's gonna solve the problem that you think it is. It's gonna cost us a hell of a lot of money. Now that being said, so now we got two teams, and they're against each other. All right, so what can we do to bring these two teams together? Finally, ultimately, what can we do? Is there anything? I think there is. Because ultimately, what the two teams are fighting over is what they want to spend their money on. What they want to spend their hard-earned tax dollars on, all right? So Team Liberal wants to spend it on welfare and health care and all those other fun things like that, all right? And Team Republican wants to spend it on walls and wars, you know, and supporting the NRA, all right? Which I don't personally have a problem with anybody having a gun, but if you're mentally unstable, I think we should limit your access. So call me crazy, you know, but I just think crazy people shouldn't have guns. That doesn't mean that I think the average, normal, law-abiding citizen should not have a gun. In fact, when you trust the government as little as I do, you actually are in favor of the average normal American citizen having a gun. Normal is the key word there, okay? There's a lot of unnormal people in this country that should not have guns, and they do. So what can we do to bring these two very opposite teams together who have a fundamental disagreement about how they're going to spend their money that they can't seem to reconcile? Okay, so here's Here it is. It's very simple, all right? Somebody needs to write and propose a bill, and all of us, liberal and Republican, need to support it, and us independents too. We all need to support it, okay? So here's the bill that's going to solve the problem. Imagine, if you will, government keeps taking your taxes every week, just like they always have, all right? But what if we, each and every individual, got to check off little boxes on our tax return or something like that, that stated which programs we wanted to support? Let's say every single American has to spend a certain percentage out of their paycheck for taxes. Everybody does. There's no way around that, okay? But what if you could pick which programs you felt like funding? It's very much like the GoFundMe thing that the conservatives have set up to try and fund their wall, which is still nowhere close, even though there is like over $18 million in it or something like that. You still need billions. So even though millions are a lot, they're still not billions. However, that doesn't mean that your wall would never get funded. It would just mean that your taxes, you've decided that for the next however many years, you only want your taxes to go to said wall or whatever programs you are in favor of, okay? And then on the liberal side of things, you get your own boxes too that you can check off. You can decide you don't want your tax dollars to go to the wall. Instead, you want your tax dollars to go to healthcare, reform, welfare, whatever it is that you are in favor of. If each and every American citizen had the right to choose where their tax dollars were allocated to, I don't think we'd be fighting, because that is really the only thing we're fighting about here, where we want our tax dollars to go. Conservatives do not believe in supporting welfare, as far as I know. That's what they seem to voice. Maybe I'm wrong, all right? So they don't have to. They can put all that money in the wall. And we can put all the money in our healthcare system that we want to put it in and not put it in the wall. Why would this not work? I don't see why it wouldn't. And you know what would happen? Magically over time, the useless programs that nobody really supports on the liberal side or the conservative side would just naturally, slowly go away because they wouldn't be funded by any of us. So that's all we need, is some little boxes on our tax returns that say where we want to support which programs and where we want our money to go. And none of us would be fighting anymore. I don't think so. I don't think we'd be fighting anymore. My personal opinion about the whole government system, Congress, Senate, the president, I think you should throw the whole thing out with the bathwater. I think we need another Tea Party. I think we need to get some yellow vests like France. And I think we need to show them that we are the people and we run this bitch. But, nobody else seems ready to do that yet. I'm not sure if it's because, we're asleep or we're comfortable or what it is. But nobody's really interested in rioting over here. And that's fine. So instead of rioting, let's come up with a solution to why we're really fighting. And what we're really fighting about is where our money goes. Let's fix it, okay? So that is my very first video, my very first political rant video. And I've decided that I'm going to try to no longer post my political opinions on Facebook. The people who want to know my political opinions can watch my YouTube videos. And I'm going to figure out how to disable the comments so I don't have to read any of your negative bullshit. So if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, whatever. Maybe I'll be lucky and someday I'll have my own show and I can quit my day job and I can just rant all day, which is what I was really meant to do. Anyway, hope to see you in my future videos, which will not all be politically based, but thank you for joining me for this one. Good night, America.